everyone, my name is NewFlowerGirl, but you can call me Demi, and welcome back to another Aftertalk video. Today we're going to be talking about the Formula 1 2022 Mexican Grand Prix. It was a good race. It was a good weekend. Once again very late, and on the night of Saturday, Sunday, they changed the time here to winter time, so yeah. It basically made it so that that this race started at the same time for us in the US. So, yeah. It was not a smart move, but then again, we have to. Otherwise, we're gonna be having nighttime at 6 a.m. Still. But yeah, let's get on with it. So, we had some test drivers in FP1. It's only Formula 1 this time, so as you know, then I'm only gonna do then I'm always also gonna do like the other things. So we had 5 test drivers: Pietro Fittipaldi for Haas, Jack Doohan for Alpine, Nick de Vries for Mercedes, his last time, Logan Sargent, and Liam Lawson. So yeah, they're all at the bottom. Fittipaldi had an issue, Lawson had brake issues, and then also Guan Yu who couldn't shift up anymore while he was waiting in the pit lane. Yeah. The fastest guy was Carlos Sainz with a 1 minute 20.707. And yeah, that was a good time for FP1. FP2, this time I didn't watch this one. This one was also the Pirelli tire test once again. I know for a fact. Oh wait, we didn't do the least laps and the most laps. Well, the least laps was by Pietro Fittipaldi, which was 9 most laps. 26 by Fernando Alonso. FP2. So now all the original drivers were back, and yeah, it was time for the Pirelli tire test. I know that Charles had a big shunt in the S's, and he basically ended his session there. 13 laps driven for him, least laps driven. I think the most laps driven were 36 by Gasly and Bottas. And the fastest time was set by George Russell, a 1:19.970. Yeah, that's all I know. I saw it on Twitter. Oh god, why are you moving? FP3. I believe we watched this one. But yeah, just again all the original drivers. Albon was a surprise there, with 10th place. And yeah, Hamilton is like way down the order, I think. Oh no, wait, he is second. Never mind, I didn't see it. Least laps driven was 16 by Fernando Alonso, and the most laps were 28 by Valtteri Bottas. Fastest time set by George Russell, a 1:18.399. Now we're gonna go to Q1, which was just completely chaos. I mean, there were no yellow flags. There were a few spins, I believe, but like there was no yellow flag. I'm happy about that. So the guys who had fallen off the boat were Nicholas Latifi, Alexander Albon, Lance Stroll, Sebastian Vettel, and Mick Schumacher. Funny thing between Vettel and Schumacher, they both drove a 1:20.419. They had the same time. That's incredible. Now we do need to keep in mind that Stroll and Magnussen both got penalties. Stroll, because of what happened in the last race, he got the 3-place grid penalty, which I strongly disagree with, even still. So he dropped back to the back, and then Kevin Magnussen took a new power unit or something, and he basically dropped back like 5 places. So yeah. Yeah. Fastest time was actually set by Lewis Hamilton, a 1 minute 19.169. Yeah. And Valtteri Bottas was doing great. He was 4th in Q1. Now on to Q2. The droppers here were Kevin Magnussen, Pierre Gasly, Yuki Tsunoda, Guan Yu Zhao, and Daniel Ricciardo. Yeah, this was not a good weekend for AlphaTauri, as they still have trouble with their brakes. Fast time was once again for Lewis Hamilton, this time a 1 minute 18.552. Mercedes is stronger, and I have to explain a little bit on this. Circuit de Manos Rodriguez, which is the track name of Mexico, it is 2 kilometers higher than sea level, and that means basically have a thinner air, so like less oxygen in the air, and this can cause some of the backfield cars to perform better, and possibly have like a midfield car win which never won before, like not even a rebranded version of it. So yeah, those things could happen if the air is thinner, but also your engines and power units and all of that stuff have more trouble functioning properly. So yeah, Mercedes had it under control there, really. But then Q3 came. And yeah. Max was the fastest. The only one to drive in the 1 minute 17. The others were just still in 1 minute 18. Max Verstappen's pole time was 1 minute 17.775. Yeah, that was insane. Now we're gonna go and look at the grid. I think, yeah, with the penalties applied. So on the front row, we had Max Verstappen and George Russell. My dad at first said, like, before the start, like, George is gonna go for it. He's gonna completely knock Max out. He's gonna take the first corner. And I said, like, yeah, what would be nice if Hamilton, like, pointed him off? I'll tell you that happened in the first turn, but not as violent as I thought it might have been. It's like a little... They didn't even have contact. It was like just, trying not to touch each other, and yeah, then George just flew off. No damage for him though. Just maybe a bit of trying to recover from that moment. On the second row we have Lewis Hamilton and Sergio Perez. That's always fun. On the third row we have Carlos Sainz and Valtteri Bottas. Ferrari is not doing good here. I mean, considering how well they did in 2019, but then again they were cheating. In case you didn't know, I vaguely remember it, but they had such a big advantage over the other teams in 2019 here, and it became suspicious. They were so fast, so they actually had to change, I believe, their fuel before going to USA. So yeah, It's crazy how that went. They didn't get disqualified though, so yeah. On the 4th row, we have two friends, Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris. On the 5th row, we have teammates Fernando Alonso and Esteban Ocon. On the 6th row, Daniel Ricciardo and Guan Yu Zhou. On the 7th row, again teammates Yuki Tsunoda and Pierre Gasly. On the 8th row, we have country buddies, basically mentor and mentee, Mick Schumacher and Sebastian Vettel. On the 9th row, we have the Williamses, Alexander Albon and Nicholas Latifi. And on the last row, we have Kevin Magnussen and Lance Stroll. I do have to say, Latifi stayed on track this entire race. Like, nothing wrong with this race for him. Now, let's go to the race. Let's talk about what happened there. So, we're going to first talk about the retirements. Yuki Tsunoda, he retired. Basically what happened to him was he was fighting with Daniel Ricciardo, and Ricciardo tried to make a dive bomb before, like the turns before heading into the S's. I can't remember what the name was or the corner number. Yeah, he basically made a move there. It's basically like after the chicane, after the second straight. There, yeah, in case you don't know. If you know what turn name it is, then let me know in the comments down below. Oh, wait, I can visualize it, because that's what most people do. So you have the straight, turn right, then left, then right, then you have a straight, then you turn left, right. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So basically turn 5, 6, that is where Ricciardo tried to do a dive bomb, but he, in the end, got tangled with Yuki Tsunoda, and Yuki had damage. The people on that grandstand had a whale of a time, because that was the only excitement there. Besides every 71 laps, we had they had their Mexican hero Sergio Perez shooting by, and his marvelous overtakes. But yeah, Yuki Tsunoda basically had too much damage, and in the end he retired. The second retirement was the only virtual safety car to be pulled out on track. That was Fernando Alonso. He is still classified as 19th, but he was out of the race. Yeah, his engine just gave up. This is not good for their championship, knowing that both Lando and Daniel Ricciardo got into the points. I do have to point out Daniel Ricciardo got a 10-second time penalty. Even with the time penalty applied, he still stayed 7th. But this begs the question, does the FIA still favour Mercedes? Because for the exact same manoeuvre, George Russell got penalised, but he only got 5 seconds. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair. It should either be that both drivers get the exact same penalty, or no penalty. It's, well, no, not no penalty. It's either they get both 5 seconds or 10 seconds. You choose. But I do think that it has to do with like damage and stuff, because Carlos's car was not as didn't look as damaged on the outside as Yuki Tsunoda's car. So yeah, that could potentially be it. Lance Stroll had 2 major moments with Pierre Gasly. Pierre Gasly is now on the verge of getting a freaking race ban. I mean, come on. Lance Stroll should have gone that race ban. So Gasly is now on 11 penalty points on his super license. If he gets one more, he gets a race ban. Yeah, it just seems like everything has gone downhill for Gasly ever since he signed for Alpine. And the weird part is those penalty points, they don't go away after the season ends. No, he takes his penalty points with him to Alpine, and then in May they drop. It's like, what? Why? Just let everyone start fresh. Come on. Bottas has the last point, so yeah, that's good. The podium happens to be the same podium as last year. The exact same podium in the exact same places. Third, Sergio Perez. Second, Lewis Hamilton. And first, Max Verstappen. This makes him the all-time GOAT. He has more race victories, yeah, in one season than Michael Schumacher and Sebastian Vettel. So basically, Max now has 14 race wins in this season, and that makes him basically the all-time GOAT. He can go for more. Basically, if he wins the last 2 races, then like he's truly the all-time GOAT. Like, honestly. It was insane. It was insane. And of course, in Mexico they had I just don't know why, but they had mariachi bands, and they did the F1 theme, and it's such a bop. It is so good. They should change it. They should change the F1 theme to that. Like, holy, that's amazing. Yeah, we still have quite a bit of time, so we're gonna go and look at the pit stops. I believe the fastest one was from Lando Norris. I believe Lando's first stop. Lando did a 1-stop. Ooh. Let's see who else did a 1-stop. Lance Stroll didn't do a 1-stop. He stopped twice. Perez stopped once. Nicholas Latifi stopped twice. Mick Schumacher stopped once. Max Verstappen also once. Charles Leclerc also once. Even though Ferrari said, we're gonna do a 3-stop strategy. Well, they just immediately threw that in the bin. Yuki Tsunoda, he did 1 stop, but then again he couldn't go any further after lap 40. Lando Norris did 1 stop. Esteban Ocon did 1 stop. George Russell did 2 stops. Albon did 1 stop. Magnussen did 1 stop. Bottas did 1 stop. Alonso did 1 stop. Gasly did 1 stop. Ricciardo did 2 stops. No, 1 stop. Joe did 1 stop. And that was it. But I do believe the fastest pit stop was McLaren. With, I believe, Lando Norris or Daniel Ricciardo. I think it might be with Daniel. Because the time for him says 22.280. Is there anywhere else with 22.2? No. So the fastest pit stop went to McLaren once again. They've really improved. And the fastest time was for George Russell. He got it last second. In lap 71 of 71. A 1 minute 20.153. So now they basically have a little bit of a break. It is now November. So basically we're going to go to the final stages. Basically the last 2 races, they're double header. And basically, November the 13th, on Lando Norris's birthday, fun fact for you guys, they're going to race in Brazil, and then the week after that in Abu Dhabi, and then the season is done. Next week, we have MotoGP. Oh my god. I am definitely going to lose sleep over that if Fabio Quartararo does not win the championship. I'm going to lose sleep over that. Because I'm such a big fan of him. Even though I'm also a fan of Francesco Bagnaia. But still, like, I'm going to lose sleep over that. Yeah. I don't think that he will... that he is going to get the championship. But it would be nice if he did get it. On the other hand, it would be good for Ducati as well. Because, like, it's been so long since they got their last driver's title. Let me go and look it up. Ducati's last MotoGP driver's title. Driver's title. What is the most MotoGP title? That's victories, man. Oh wait, he has 13 World Championship. No, 14 titles. MotoGP drivers titles. Wikipedia. So yeah. The last one was 2007 with Casey Stoner. And I believe that's like the only one. I mean, they did have MV Augusta. They started earlier than Formula 1, I believe. No, they did not. They did not. Because Formula 1 started before the war. Did they? Did they start before the war? Did they start before the war? Chapter 1. De Prix van Zandvoort. Grand Prix of Zandvoort. 1939. They actually started during the war, considering that World War II started actually in 1939. That's when Germany invaded Poland. That's when it all started. Most people say that it started in 1940, but that's completely wrong. It started in 1939. But yeah, as just a little fact. Yeah. Oh, in 1969, someone from Rhodesia and Nyasaland won a championship on an MV Augusta. That is interesting facts here. Wow. Last 10 years of championships. Honda, Yamaha, Honda, Yamaha, Honda, Suzuki, Yamaha. Yeah, interesting, right? Yeah, most titles, 8 in the MotoGP. They didn't even put Fabio Quartararo in there. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh wait, multiple champions, of course, multiple champions. The driver with the most championships in the 500cc MotoGP is Giacomo Agostini with 8. Then Valentino Rossi with 7, then Marc Marquez with 6, Mick Doohan with 5, sorry. Jeff Duke, John Surtees and Mike Halewood with 4, Kenny Roberts, Wayne Rainey and Jorge Lorenzo with 3, Umberto Massetti, Phil Reed, Barry Sheen, Freddie Spencer and Casey Stoner with 2. And yeah, Ducati has right now 1 Constructors' Championship. Honda has the most. Yeah. Interesting facts, guys. But that is it for today's Aftertalk. I've got to get ready for school. I'm actually starting 1 hour later today because our teacher is in Spain for something, for school. So yeah, I have a little bit more to play with. But yeah, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, then please leave a like and subscribe if you're new. Yeah, next week I'm going to be fully talking about MotoGP, and also the Moto2 title has not been done yet. So yeah, these 2 are going to be exciting. Moto3 has already been done, but yeah, it's still exciting because, you know, there might be a new champion, there might be a new race winner. I hope in the name of Dennis Onchu. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, that's it from me for now, and I shall see you guys in another video. Bye!